one of the edges for me right now, and I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but it's kind of the thing that has come forth this year that's been really clear is you're my comfort zone, right? But we also have so many different, like, because of codependency, because of all the things that we kind of have enmeshed together with each other, it's not necessarily because we have some toxic codependency, because we have a past where we weren't the healthiest versions of ourselves with each other. Sometimes what it has required is, like you said, like creating this boundary of being like, no, I'm not going to do this thing. And the willingness to set those boundaries and making yourself a priority. That's kind of the thing that I've been really trying to work with this year, is not separating from you, right? It's the conversation around codependency where it's like we have to separate and pull apart and have this like conscious decision to not just be so with each other. And that's really hard for me. That's a big step outside of my comfort zone that I'm still trying to like lean into, because it's hard. Like it's just hard. I don't like it. Recently, we decided to stop teaching yoga for the time being, right? We've had this yoga class that we've taught every week for like a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And we teach it together, and I love it. And I love yoga and everything about it. But it was starting to feel like, it just didn't feel like where I wanted to put my energy for the time being. And we were having this debate back and forth over the course of a couple of weeks. And I was getting really anxious and nervous because it was sounding like you didn't want to set it down right now, that you didn't want to step away from it. So I could feel myself wanting to like represent differently. I could feel myself wanting to be like, okay, yeah, we'll keep doing it, when it truthfully would have been going against what I really wanted to do, what I wanted to do, what was best for me, or what at least felt like was best for me. And it was hard. It was a real struggle for me. And I mean, at the end of the day, I trust that you also, for your choices and decisions and reasoning and everything like that, agreed that, you felt like it was a good thing to do to set down yoga for the time being. But there were moments when we were having those conversations over the course of those weeks where I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do if you're like, yeah, I really want to still teach yoga. It's still important to me. And I want to, because you were trying to debate about whether or not you wanted to change things up, or, you were really processing it. And I was super scared, because I was like, if she says that she still wants to teach, I think I'm going to have to still teach with her, because the like scared codependent part of me would feel like, what it felt like was, if I said no, then I was basically, again, saying no to you, right? It's that really unhealthy codependent part of me that's like, can't stand to tell you no, can't stand to disappoint you, can't stand to, all those kind of different things. So it was hard, and I was grateful. And maybe now, as you're sitting there looking, anytime we express some vulnerability to each other, enter in emotional monitor, right? My hall monitor / emotional monitor comes in. He's like, excuse me, sir, do you have a hall pass? Right? I'm pretty sure she's
safety patrol.
Yeah. Let's look at her real closely, because the way that she's reacting, she clearly is upset with you right now. And she clearly wants to teach yoga still. And you've clearly made a mistake, and you're now going to end your relationship because you spoke this thing. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Do you want to sit in that, or do you want me to speak? Like, what, like, do you want to just like handle that? Or
oh, I don't need you to fix that emotional monitor
that's what
part.
I was.
Yeah,
well,
no.
not even that. I was just like, I didn't know if you were wanting, like, I that's the first time you said clearly that you didn't want to. Like, I just learned that today, that you didn't want to. I knew we decided, but I felt like it was my decision.
Really?
And I've been handling the fact that I wasn't sure where you were at, and I just had to be cool with it and trust it.
I totally tiptoed around it, didn't I?
You did,
Fucking
yeah. So no, it's totally okay.
I mean,
We're
is okay.
practicing,
it is okay, and it is practice. But like, there's this weird thing that happens in our relationship, babe, where I I have zero issues speaking clearly in regards to other things, right? And other like relationships and friendships and things like that. Like, I have no problem saying, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. That's not for me. And then in our relationship, I'm like, it's really hard for me to differentiate myself from us as a couple. That feels really dangerous to me. And I know why. We've talked about it a lot on the podcast. It's something that I'm actively trying to work with and to work on. But yeah, I guess I could have done a better job of stating clearly what my real wants were in that space.
It's hard. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like, it's fascinating to me. You know, it's fascinating. This is fascinating to me.
What's fascinating about it?
Well, I'm just like, I'm glad I know. I'm glad I know now. I do. Like, there's the part of me that wants to. I'm just going to hold space for you in this, like, this spot, because I know what that feels like. I wouldn't make a decision that I thought was going to cost me you. In fact, you were a big part of the things that I would do what I thought you wanted me to do, and I did not want to do them. But I wanted you. I loved you. So, like, you're a big part of I've had to start saying, like, no to. And that's really hard and scary. And I've gotten pretty good at it. I still suck at it in some areas, but for the most part, I feel like I will set a boundary. And there's other areas that I don't even know I need to set a boundary yet that I need to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a space, and like, you do better than you realize you're doing. So there are areas where you'll speak and you'll come to me clearly. And the fact that you're in such turmoil means there's a lot more there, right? And that's okay, because that means they're rising to the surface. You're feeling them. So maybe you can't see them yet or getting, so you're getting practice. More and more you're getting practice. And lucky you have a safe partner to practice with, even if it doesn't feel safe. And I'm not telling you because it's really scary that, like, oh, you're safe, it's fine. I'm not saying that. What I am letting you know is that you get to practice, and I know how scary it is.
How many times, like, that statement of like, oh, you're fine, everything's fine,
right.
It's safe, just relax, you can tell me everything's fine.
Fuck that. Right?
I don't know who you're talking to.
Right.
My emotional monitor over here says not safe.
Right.
Nothing is safe right now, right?
We were meant to be.